to Retro Inebriation.
Hi!
What are we talking about today, Brett?
I'm Brett.
I'm Brian.
And, approximately, when this video comes out, I will be playing Kingdom Hearts 3. And I'm very excited about it.
If we released the video early, apparently you're playing a bootleg copy.
I said approximately.
You did say approximately. And if we release the video late, you're still going to be playing Kingdom Hearts 3, so...
Correct.
And Kingdom Hearts 3 is what number in the franchise?
9? You have Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, Coded, 358 over 2 days, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah.
Considering we're only on 3.
That's not all of them either, because you have Kingdom Hearts Unchained and Union X and those things that are like mobile games.
Oh, yeah. Okay, mobile games don't count. I was going to say, why are you dismissing certain games in the franchise? Brett is our Kingdom Hearts expert. Yeah, it doesn't show with him having to use the phone as a crib sheet, but out of the two of us, he's the one that knows about the series because he has such a affinity and passion for it.
I do. I love Kingdom Hearts, and I was introduced to Kingdom Hearts because of Sephiroth. My buddy Jacob, the one whose PlayStation that I had without a memory card, and
you never turned it off.
That's the one. He had Kingdom Hearts when it first came out, and I had seen the commercials for this game, and I thought, man, this game looks stupid. This just looks like one of the dumbest games I've ever heard of in my entire life. I didn't think that it worked. And I was at his house, and he was running around with Peter Pan, which is a really weird thing to see. And I was like...
And you still thought to yourself, this doesn't work.
This doesn't... I told him, I was like, I don't get this game. This game looks so silly. Like, you're running around with Disney characters and, like, an RPG. Like, I just didn't work in my mind. And then he's scrolling through the menus, and he scrolls past a picture, or like a 3D model or whatever, of Sephiroth. And I was like, hold up, wait, what was that? He's like, oh, he's just like one of the optional bosses that you can fight. I was like, you can fight Sephiroth? And I played it.
But you've already fought Sephiroth, so why was that so exciting?
Well, because I wanted to do it again.
Did you lose your PS1 memory card?
No, I wanted to do it in like a 3D form.
Wait, was he not 3D at the PlayStation?
Well, I mean, it's like, polygonal.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
This is slightly off subject, but I would love to see a demake of Final Fantasy VII.
There is one.
Is there a 2D sprite version?
Yes. There's an NES ROM. You can get the whole game. It's from beginning to end.
That's really neat. I would like to play that.
I will send it to you. I have it. It is hard as balls. So be prepared to grind because it is not easy.
I'm an old school gamer. Grinding does not bother me. But continue with your story. I didn't mean to detract.
But anyways, I saw it, and I knew I had to play this game just so I could fight this optional boss. And this optional boss is like the last thing that there is to do in the game. I didn't know that when I started playing. I just thought, oh, I'll play for like 20 minutes. I'll find Sephiroth. That'd be cool.
How many hours did it equate to, Brent?
Oh, I probably put 100 hours into the original Kingdom Hearts.
Role-playing games will do that to you.
Well, and you can you synthesize weapons and stuff. So you had to go around and had to find mystery goo and different ingredients.
Isn't that a lot like the weapon system in 13?
It is actually, but and you have to in Kingdom Hearts in the original, you have to do every recipe to unlock his best weapon, the ultimate weapon. You'll see it. You'll see it in a minute. They may have already seen it. I don't know. I'm going to be doing...
We're not used to our new structure yet. We don't know when anything airs.
None that we ever did. To Avenue Q.
I don't know what the correlation between the two is. Not that I don't love Avenue Q.
I do love...
I wouldn't want to live there. Are you okay?
It's salty.
The vodka is salty?
It tastes like tequila.
I poured it from that jug.
That's a vodka drink. I don't know. No, it's not good.
You have your chaser there.
Yeah, I do. But anyways. No, there was no correlation. I was just listening to Avenue Q on the way to your house.
It's a great soundtrack.
Yeah, I love that show. It's the hardest I've ever laughed in my life is watching Avenue Q.
But before we get too deep into the details of your experience with Kingdom Hearts and different intricacies, tell us a little bit about the story in general. What is Kingdom Hearts?
So,
because I can't be the only person that has limited experience with the game. I've played a little bit of the first one, and that's about it. I owned, and I'm never going to be able to say the name right, the 365 over 2.
358 over 2 days.
Yeah. I own that for the DS, but aside booting it up to make sure it works and starting a file, that's about it.
That one is actually my least favorite game in the
no, I don't feel bad.
franchise. I think that so Kingdom Hearts gets a lot of crap about its story from a lot of people. And I think the biggest reason is that the spin-offs for the handhelds, they're not really spin-offs. Like, that they are a crucial part of the main story.
So people are going into it not knowing what the entire element is.
So people are playing Kingdom Hearts and then Kingdom Hearts 2, and they feel like
they missed something.
But what's all this where, Organization 13 is introduced in Chain of Memories as far as like when it was released. And then they're a crucial part of Kingdom Hearts 2. So if you only play the 2 console versions, and you didn't play the Game Boy Advance version, then you don't even know who these characters are. You haven't seen them.
Well, what about just the first one as an isolated game? So take yourself back before they even made the sequels.
Right.
What is Kingdom Hearts the game? Not necessarily Kingdom Hearts the series. Because the series seems like it would be too much to bite off in one episode. I think we'd have to make an entire series of these episodes in order to be able to encompass the entire thing. What about the original game? What is Kingdom Hearts?
Kingdom Hearts is... You play as a character named Sora, and your island gets destroyed by Heartless and falls into space. And you set off...
The island falls into space.
Kind of, yeah. Okay. And you set off to find your friends Rico and Kairi in this new world, and you bounce around from Disney World to Disney World looking for them. With your pals Donald and Goofy that are looking for King Mickey.
So, did they get the Park Hopper pass so they could go to multiple worlds in the same day?
That was actually originally one of the concepts of the game.
Dear God, I was joking.
The original concept of the game was that you were going to be a character in a Disney theme park, and then the theme park came to life, and so you went to all these different rides and these different things and stuff, but they were real now as opposed to.
Not to dumb down the comparison, but isn't that a lot like the NES game? Where you're going to all the different rides, and the rides themselves are essentially alive. There's actually people there.
Yeah.
The pirates they're fighting you, and if you actually go on the mine train, you're driving this train down these ragged tracks and whatnot. It's not a ride, it's an actual experience.
Yeah. But luckily that idea got scrapped. And you bounce around from world to world to world. You go to, you go to Tarzan, originally you go to Tarzan, you go to Neverland, you go to Halloween Town. You go to Atlantis. You go to...
What was that for?
Oh, it's the worst level in the game.
Well, of course it is. Everyone hates the water temple.
It is... I can navigate it now because I've played through Kingdom Hearts too many times.
How many times?
6 or 7. The first Kingdom Hearts is like a comfort game. Like, you know,
is it a rainy day game for you?
Yeah, like I'll just throw on Kingdom Hearts and run around and get my mystery goos and beat up my Heartless and yeah, it's just it's a 6-day game, you know. So I play it regularly. It's one of my go-tos.
That's it. I think we all have those games that we revisit quite frequently.
And I don't do it with the rest of the franchise. I have been playing back through because I'm trying to finish them all again before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. And I'm not going to make it, Brian.
I'm willing to bet. How far along are you?
Well, I have beat Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Rebeat Kingdom Hearts 2 and Birth by Sleep.
Wait, hold on. Are you not doing them in order?
No.
What were you doing them by? Like, what was your protocol?
The ones I wanted to play the most.
Wait, doesn't that make the steepest uphill battle possible? I'm going to start with the ones I really, really like, and then just work my way through all the shit towards the end.
Birth by Sleep is my favorite.
Which is for what console?
The PSP. It's my favorite one. And I think it's the biggest reason a lot of people don't get the story.
It's because they're missing
It's because they're missing Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep covers a lot of... I had assumed that before I became a Kingdom Hearts kid, that you would play as the Disney characters. You know?
That was my assumption going into the game.
And you don't. The only one you ever play as is when you get to play as King Mickey in Kingdom Hearts 2, which is freaking awesome. One of the best moments of my video gaming life is in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Was Kingdom Hearts 2 originally released for the PS2, or was it a PS3 title?
No, it's PS2. They're both PS2.
Well, there's the remix that's on the PS3. That's how I know. The only bit of Part 2 that I've ever even touched was on the PS3.
Gotcha.
That's why I asked.
But, and you die, okay? And he sits there and he floats in the air with his little heart out. And,
should we have put a spoilers warning on here?
Spoilers, and this can happen a few different places in the game on some of the more difficult boss fights. And,
where you die?
Well, the option changes. And you can choose not to give up. And King Mickey jumps into the boss fight, and you do play as Mickey, and he is a badass. And
well, of course, when I think Mickey Mouse, I think badass.
And Sora sits there, and you run around as Mickey, and all I could think was, I want to keep playing as Mickey. He's fast. He hits hard. It was awesome. My mind was blown. And then he leaves. Back into the night.
That's a shame.
But it is my favorite version of Mickey Mouse. I love him so much. But
aside from that, you don't play as Disney characters.
Yeah, you don't play as Disney characters. And I think that was jarring for a lot of people. I think a lot of people were expecting to play as the Disney characters. The way the game starts, the first one, I guess that's what we're going to talk about.
Primarily, I mean, yeah. We don't have to. I mean, if you want to redirect it, that's fine.
I probably will at some point. But right now, this is what we shall be doing. And these are the things we shall be saying. The first Kingdom Hearts, I was playing it for the first time, and a lot of Disney games are very kiddie. they're very fetch questy, and I just thought that's what this game was going to be, but I was swore that it wasn't. But the very first thing you do in Kingdom Hearts, well, it's not the first thing, but the first thing you do is you run around on an island collecting sticks and coconuts and water and fish for your raft. Oh. And I'm running around, and I was like,
how old are you at this time?
13, I guess. 13, 14, somewhere 15, 16, 17, somewhere in.
That's not a span or anything.
Yeah.
I just see little 13 to 17-year-old Brent going, betrayal!
Yeah, I was like between 11 and 25, somewhere in that ballpark. But I was like, this is so dumb. And like, everyone's running around, they're all happy, and it's all me. And they said it about like on purpose. It's very deliberate. And then when all the Heartless comes and the island starts falling apart, it's,
much more dire.
It's much more dire, and it feels that way because of how happy they're.
Right, they started with brevity just to yank that rug out from underneath you.
Yeah, and it's a great opening, and there's a shot of Riku, where he's standing in all of the smoke and he's turning around to reach his hand out to you. It's just fantastic. It's just really great cinematic stuff. I sold a bunch of memory cards to the first Kingdom Hearts. Because I would run around on the island fighting Heartless for hours, leveling up Sora, and then I would sell copies of the save file to my friends so that they could start with a super high level Sora.
That's the weirdest form of cheating I've ever heard of.
But they spawn endlessly, but they only give you like 1 and 2 experience. So you have to fight them for like hours and hours. And hours.
So when you say you put 100 hours into the game,
no, that
were
was
97 of them just running around
the island. No, that was on just like a side project. But all of the games start kind of weird like that. They all start off-putting. Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best example, particularly
off-putting.
Yes, particularly if you have not played Chain of Memories going into that, because Chain of Memories, like I said, introduces a whole slew of characters. When you start Kingdom Hearts 2 and go and play Kingdom Hearts 1, you're like, I'm going to be Sora, and I'm going to be Donald and Goofy, and we're going to run around on adventures together. And they're on the box, and they're on...
I saw them. They were on the cover art.
Yeah, but the first couple of hours, particularly the first time you play as Roxas, who is not Sora. And you run around with your friends, and you play games, and you eat ice cream. And eventually Sora comes, but like there's like 2 hours of you playing as this character that you don't know. It's really weird. And I like almost quit.
For a sequel, that's weird.
I'm glad I didn't, because Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of the best games in the whole franchise. But oh wait,
it's not your favorite though.
No, it's not my favorite. My favorite is Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep is the first one chronologically.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't realize they did the whole prequel bit.
Yes. And it tells the story of Xehanort, which is...
Last year?
I've never heard that joke before.
For Xehanort.
Not for Xehanort, but for like other things that people say. But anyways, Xehanort, he's like the main villain of the franchise. He's the, what's the Harry Potter bad guy?
He who shall not be named.
Yeah, that one.
You don't remember, do you?
I can't think of his name, no.
Voldemort.
Voldemort! See? Bless you. But he's the Voldemort. He's the Sauron. He's
I would have enjoyed that so much more if you literally set me up before that. Like that was the whole purpose of pretending to forget his name.
I'm gonna tell a lie.
I'd say that's what it was.
Lying is fun. Anyways, so
Gesundheit did what now?
Gesundheit is like the overarching bad guy, and he is trying to get to Kingdom Hearts because it's the source of all power, supposedly. And it sets up his whole quest, and that's my favorite one for story reasons. But also, you have 3 different characters that you get to play as, and they all tell their complete own story. But like the story all ties into the final, confrontation.
That's neat. So can you play through the game 3 different times and get essentially a completely different experience?
Yeah. Yeah, they're 3 completely separate things.
That is really cool.
And the way they all tie together at the end is really neat.
Is that kind of like a Resident Evil 2 sort of vibe? All right, go ahead and mute that because that's copyrighted, I'm sure.
I would imagine so. I like Rocky. Oh!
To Rocky Balboa and his industrious career.
To Rocky Balboa and his industrious career.
Industrious.
Industrious.
Yes. Isn't that what you... Oh, you say illustrious, don't you?
Illustrious, yes.
Actually, they both work.
Yeah.
He's very industrious.
Yes. To Rocky.
Resident Evil 2. You can play through as Claire. You can play through as Leon.
Right.
And they both lead to the same
right
ending, but they're 2 completely different stories. As a matter of fact, on the original PS1, they were 2 different discs. You literally had to put a different disc in the machine just to play it.
Is there something in the bottom of the shot glasses?
Oh, take a sip out of the big cup. Don't actually do that shot. Not after doing 3 other ones. But take a sip out of it and see if there's a difference.
Taste it. Nope, it just tastes like ass.
Because I was going to say, that one was washed by hand. The shot glasses were washed in the dishwasher.
Just tastes like ass. I don't know why.
Isn't that the same vodka that we used for another video?
We've used it before.
Right, it was already open.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's salty. I feel salty. It's salty! You can do a shot if you want to. You'll see it's salty.
No, I will pass. Thank you. The few alcohol consumptions that I do are going to have to be the weak ass stuff.
Anyways, Birthplace Leap 2 plays 3 characters ties together. It's really cool. It's my favorite.
And again, you said first in the franchise, correct?
Chronologically.
Yes. Not the first one released.
Right. Yeah, they all have these little offbeat ways of starting. I'm very interested to see how Kingdom Hearts 3 begins. Also, Simple and Clean is just one of the best songs ever.
I'm not familiar with
the way that you're making me feel tonight.
It's a good thing you can't sing.
It's hard to let it go. Kingdom Hearts 2 is probably a better game than the first Kingdom Hearts. It is a better game than the first Kingdom Hearts. But the first Kingdom Hearts has Mount Olympus. And they have a arena, which you'll see in a minute. Or you've already seen it. I don't know. Who knows what's going on? Life is crazy. But you get to go to the Coliseum, and they have so many awesome cameo fights in the Coliseum. You get to fight Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. You get to fight Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. You get to fight Yuffie from Final Fantasy VII. You get to fight the Rock Titan from Hercules.
I so thought you said you get to fight Goofy from Final Fantasy VII.
No, Yuffie. Or Yuppie.
I figured it out once I heard Goofy, but I was like, wait, what? I thought you were going to say Goofy from the Disney franchise, and you said Final Fantasy VII. I was like, that doesn't fit.
Yeah, you get to fight the Rock Titan from Hercules. You get to fight Hercules. You get to fight Cerberus. There's a huge plethora. That's not even all of them. That's just some of them.
That is pretty cool.
And it is pretty cool. And then in Kingdom Hearts 2, you have the Dark Coliseum, and you fight a bunch of Heartless. Ooh.
Not as cool.
Not as cool. And you know what else is in the Coliseum?
Pillars.
Sephiroth!
Which you'll have either seen or will see shortly.
Correct! Because I'm going to fight him. Sit off.
I thought there was something in particular he had to reach for, not just another chocolate.
Nope. To the one-winged angel. Oh, God. Pour the rest of that bottle out after this.
I think it's so funny that you so readily go back. Normally, obviously, when we do our Let's Plays, we do our shot counter, and we have a timer going. For this conversation, we said, Brent, you just go ahead and drink casually, and then when we go to do the drunk drill, which is obviously, spoilers, he's going to fight Sephiroth.
Correct.
You'll be nice and plastered for it. You're going to be so much quicker, even though they taste like ass.
I want to do it fast.
Because I assume ass is very salty, right?
I would not know, Brian.
Damn it, I thought I'd set you up for that.
I would not know.
What were you asking?
Did I drink it faster than I normally do?
You normally take shots every 17 minutes.
Correct.
Right. We haven't been filming for 17 minutes.
What?
And you've taken 4 shots. Now, granted, you didn't start with the huge one.
Right.
So you're fine. But I mean, you're going to them quicker, is what I'm saying.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Sephiroth in the original Kingdom Hearts is one of the hardest side optional boss fights I have ever beaten up in an area.
I don't know that I've played many games that have optional boss fights.
Yes, you have. Played lots of Final Fantasies. Lots of Final Fantasies have optional boss fights.
Optional boss fights?
Yeah.
Like, because you can play the straight game without having to go have that boss battle? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay, then I guess I don't view it as options. I either play games completely casually or I play them as a completionist. Those are really my only 2 modes. I don't really have it in between. So if I'm gonna finish the game, I'm gonna finish the game. I'm gonna play everything in the game. So they're not really an option. I'm out. No, you're not. You got that big lots.
It's too salty. It's not the alcohol that scares me. It's the. I feel like I don't like tequila, and it tastes like tequila. I end up with tequila.
How does vodka with salt taste like tequila? That's not the only difference between vodka and tequila.
Tequila is salty, and I don't like it. It tastes like tequila, but it's in my vodka bottle.
Do you think someone switched it without you knowing?
I mean, I'm telling you, it doesn't taste like it normally tastes. And I drink enough of it to know.
If any of you have swapped out Brent's vodka for some other form of alcoholic beverage, shame on you.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've established that Kingdom Hearts 2 is probably the better game.
Correct.
But it doesn't have the Coliseum.
Right.
So that nostalgia, I assume, is why you rank the original Kingdom Hearts higher?
The Coliseum is awesome, and I wish that it was in every video game. Not just all of the Kingdom Hearts. I wish in every video game you could just go to the Hercules Coliseum and fight random crossover characters. In Super Mario Odyssey, you just run into the Coliseum and, you get to fight Sonic.
It's fucking Smash Brothers!
No! In a Coliseum.
Is it not Smash Brothers?
3D. You run around in the third dimension.
I would not want to play a 3D Smash Brothers. I think that would suck.
It sounds exhausting.
Right? Yeah, that would not be interesting to me.
I would play it.
I didn't say I wouldn't play it.
Okay. Brian, ask me this question. Ask me, what is your favorite and least favorite Kingdom Hearts worlds?
Hey, Brent.
Yes, Brian.
What is your least favorite Kingdom Hearts world?
My least favorite Kingdom Hearts world is either Atlantis from Kingdom Hearts 2, because they tried to fix it from the first one. The problem with the first one...
They tried to fix it.
The problem with the Atlantis in the first Kingdom Hearts is navigation. It's so hard to tell where you're going, because everything looks the same. And so, after you play through it about 6 or 7 times, you learn your way around. But, first time you get there, it just seems like everything's the same, and you just came here to die.
That sounds sad.
In the second one, they just turn it into a rhythm game. And I'll show you when I pull it up. We'll go to Atlanta. Not for part of the show. Maybe for part of the show. I don't know. But who knows what we're going to do. But I'll show you.
Nobody. We don't.
I'll show you the
rhythm game in
fun
part 2.
Atlantis rhythm game. I used fun there, and I should not have.
No, you meant a different word.
So Atlantis 2 is worse. Is really, really dumb. But Pirates of the Caribbean in Kingdom Hearts 2 is probably my least favorite.
So, of the worlds that you like the least, both of them come from Kingdom Hearts 2?
Yes.
That could be another reason it's not higher on your list. Even though it is the better game.
There's so much to like in Kingdom Hearts 2. The final forms are awesome. How you unlock them is neat. The level up system is better. But the dummy ships are so much better in Kingdom Hearts 2 than the first Kingdom Hearts. But all in all, sometimes I say things.
And sometimes people listen.
Hey, Brad. Wait, no, I wanted to talk more about Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm so drunk.
How are you so drunk? You've only had 4 shots.
I think I did them faster than I know.
You did! I explained this to you. Tell us why Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean, first off, it doesn't look right. Because they try to make realistic characters, and all the other ones are cartoon characters. And then Sora is running around with people that they try to make look real, and it looks awkward and dumb, and I don't like it.
Because Sora's supposed to be real.
Yeah, but he's like cartoony because he's a...
Right, that's the problem. It's like when The Simpsons would have guest stars from other cartoons.
Yeah.
The people from other cartoons look like human beings, and The Simpsons are supposed to be human beings, but they're not drawn that way.
Right.
So it never looked right.
Correct. It's exactly like that. And then, when you're fighting the pirates, you can only hurt them when they're in the moonlight.
I thought that's when they can't be hurt, because that's when they're skull people.
You can only hurt them when they're skull people.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of different than in the movie.
But, like, you can't, like, push them into the moonlight.
No?
No.
How do you get them there?
You have to wait for them to waddle into it.
Do they what? Are they all obese pirates?
And then it's so easy to knock them back out of the moonlight when you try, and then you wait and you wait for them to walk back in the moonlight.
Wait. Why would you knock them out? You don't want to do that.
No, you don't mean to.
You hit them in the other direction.
And then you go too far that way, and then they're not in the moonlight anymore.
How small is the moonlight?
It's pretty small. It's like, this big.
Is that to scale?
No. I drew the map in my head, and then I showed you the circle of the map.
How big's the map?
Bigger than the circle.
I would hope so.
So
So that's why I don't like pirates.
Yeah, Pirates is dumb.
Realism, Moonlight sucks.
Right.
Hey, Brett.
Yes, Brian.
What is your favorite of the Disney worlds in Kingdom Hearts?
Steamboat Willie.
Is it black and white?
It is.
I am sold.
And you chase around Steamboat Willie. And you fight Pete. And you're all, and like you go through these different rooms, you go through all these old Mickey Mouse. Is that right?
Yeah.
It didn't sound right in my brain.
Well, maybe your brain said it wrong, but your lips said it right.
But Mickey Mouse cartoons, and you go to like 2 different ones, and he keeps coming in, he's running around. It's awesome. Love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. And that one is in Kingdom Hearts 2. And then my favorite world.
Wait, that was not it?
No, that's my second one. That was my number 2.
Oh, what's your favorite, Brett?
You should be able to guess it.
Is it the Coliseum?
It's the Coliseum!
How long are you going to stare at that shot, Brett?
I'm going to do this.
I bet that got all the saltiness away.
It did, but I only have so much left. I didn't want to waste it. So, what else is there to say about Kingdom Hearts?
I think you covered quite a bit.
I did.
I appreciate the lesson. I feel slightly more informed.
What is something you've always wondered about Kingdom Hearts?
I don't know if I haven't always wondered. It is Square Enix, correct?
Have I toasted to the Coliseum?
I don't believe so.
To the Coliseum!
And all its glorious battles.
I know what it is. Fine.
That was way less salty. But Square Enix? Yes? No?
I think the first one was still Squaresoft, and then
Oh, Squaresoft.
it was Square Enix after that.
Well, the reason that I had wondered was because of all the different platforms that it's been released for.
Right.
Not that Square Enix can't publish for anybody, but they normally don't have that.
They do have a hodgepodge.
Well, but very specifically. Normally, if you see cross-platform stuff, it's released cross-platform. It's not this title came out on this console, this title came out on this console.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about, say, like an Uncharted game coming out for either the PS4 versus the PS Vita, or, you know, a Nintendo game coming out for the Switch versus the 3DS, that sort of thing. Then you might see individual ones, but normally it's released across consoles instead of just jumping around from all these different consoles. So that's kind of unique. I don't know if I know a lot of other series that do that.
I don't know if I can think of one either. And I think it works to its benefit and to its disbenefit.
Oh, you mean in terms of like people being able to follow it?
Right.
Well, not everyone's like me though, where they only have consoles for a specific, company, where it means that they're not going to be able to have access to the other ones.
I was very glad when the HD remakes came out because it made it so much more approachable. You don't have to go get a 3DS and a PSP and a PlayStation 2 and a Game Boy Advance just to be able to play through it. My kids are playing through it right now.
Once the series has been out for a while, that does make it tricky.
So I was super excited when we got it. I do wish that they had just released one that had all of them, as opposed to. Well, that's what I have. I have 1.5 plus 2.5.
So that's all of them?
That's all of them except for Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep 0.2 of Fragmented Passage.
So that's not all of them, then. That's 2 that's missing.
Correct. And I haven't finished Dream Drop Distance.
Why not?
I finished it in the past, but like as I'm trying to finish things before.
Oh.
I haven't started 358 over 2 days. And I probably won't. I know! I'm gonna fail, Brian! I'm gonna fail!
But you can redeem yourself by beating Sephiroth while you're drunk.
Hooray!
If we haven't aired it yet, please make sure you check back with our channel so you can see Brent's drunk drill versus Sephiroth.
Right.
That should definitely be interesting.
I'm very
engaging.
excited about it.
I'm kind of excited too. I'm curious to see how this goes down.
It's gonna be a fight to the finish.
Well, yeah, regardless. Did you have anything Kingdom Hearts wise you wanted to add before we finish?
I hope there's a Sephiroth fight in Kingdom Hearts 3. Because there's one in 2. There's
Not
one
in the Coliseum.
No, you fight him on a mountain. And it is hard. It is not, in my opinion, as hard as the first one. There are people that say it is. Those people are crazy.
What kind of difficulty do you want for the one in the third game if there's one?
I want it to crush my soul. I want it to chew me up and spit me out for breakfast. I want it to take me months and months and months, and then when I finally beat it, I'm like, yeah! Son of a bitch.
See, this is how Brent and I are different gamers.